vile, violent and humiliating.
This was Mark Wilkinson's experience at school.
I found that whole experience really quite isolating, being very dyslexic as well, which led to me being kind of ignored and put into the D stream of the secondary modern school.
Mark is a visual spatial thinker, but this wasn't recognised by his teachers, so he was sent to the bottom of the class. As an adult, Mark is now a member of Mensa and is also a leading designer of fine British furniture.
I guess it was like being a Marvel comic, more pictures than words. It was almost like being in a flip book. I would sit as near to the window as I could so that I could stare out and change the scenery around me.
Spatial thinkers are people who are able to take in visual information quickly and accurately and to rearrange it in their minds and to use it to imagine new possibilities, to see things from new perspectives, and to solve problems creatively.
And, as in Mark's case, spatial thinkers are often not very vocal in the classroom, so they're wrongly believed by some to lack intelligence.
The biggest danger is thinking that you should concentrate only on their spatial strength and not encouraging them to develop their auditory, sequential, verbal learning skills. We all need to have some of both. Teachers may overlook those strengths because teachers are often more focused on the verbal, in which case they may not be picked up for gifted and talented programs or properly encouraged and praised by the teacher.
Now GL Assessment has published a new edition of the Cognitive Abilities Test. It's the UK's most popular test of reasoning abilities for children aged between 7 and 16. The new edition of the test contains a greater emphasis on uncovering spatial learners.
With the government's agenda on the STEM subjects, we know that students with a bias towards spatial learning, we know that those students should do well in science, technology, engineering and mathematics. And we like to add to that the visual arts as well.
The test is designed to use methods which pinpoint spatial learners in such a way that could never be identified in a classroom situation.
I think, in fairness to the teachers at the time, they would have tried if they'd have known or accepted that I was thinking in a different way. That's the enormous value of this CAT 4. Well, it's just a great big step in the right direction.
The CAT tests are becoming more popular in schools, with teachers realising the benefits of using the results from the tests.
It's a test in 4 parts. It looks at verbal ability, numerical ability, non-verbal ability and spatial ability. So you're really asking children to solve problems using words, numbers, shapes and shape and space in the case of spatial ability. Our intention with CAT 4 is to highlight that bias, as we call it, a learning bias, so that teachers and students understand how to support different types of learners most appropriately.
CAT 4 also highlights that a spatial learner is a child who processes and learns information in a slightly different way. It's also enabling schools to get away from the one-size-fits-all approach to education and help set individual plans for their pupils.
I think the idea of bringing spatial intelligence into a test is commendable. We've used CAT for quite a while. It actually allows you, if you want to dig behind a student a little bit and try and find out how to engage them a bit better. The idea of having some sort of spatial awareness, spatial intelligence reading behind that is another tool that we've got which will enable our teachers to work at a higher level. What is intelligence? Intelligence shows itself in different ways and different shapes. Our job as educators is to find ways to enable students to love learning.